Sanibonani niyamkelekile La Africa at a glance, the show that keeps you up to date with stories from the continent, from politics, sports, agriculture, arts and culture, from Lagos to Mombasa, Cape to Cairo. I'm Lesego Mokonani. Right now, let's take a look at the story of the week. Boko Haram has threatened to kill President Muhammadu Buhari. The world's deadliest terror group released a new video on YouTube showing an unidentified man in a flowing white robe and a sword dangling by his side presiding over Eid prayers in a mosque. Hundreds of poorly fed villagers and children who are apparently Boko Haram supporters are seen in the video. The man claims he is representing Shekau, who has allegedly been ousted by the Islamic State, to which Boko Haram pledged allegiance in March 2015. 3 women died after a knife and fire bomb attack on the main police station in the Kenyan city of Mombasa. Police suspect the attack was related to terror acts.
3 women have been killed after they attacked a police station in the Kenyan coastal city of Mombasa on Sunday. One of the women threw a petrol bomb at officers while another pulled out a knife. According to Mombasa police, 2 policemen were wounded in the attack.
Today at about 10:30 a.m., 3 women in Buibui attire went to Central Police Station to report about a stolen phone. While the officers were questioning them about the particulars of place where they were, the phones were stolen, one of them immediately drew a knife, whereas the other one threw a petrol bomb to the report office personnel.
The women who were dressed in kneecaps were subsequently shot by police. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack.
And police reaction led to the 3 being shot. 2 officers were injured. They are in hospital. One had a broken limb. The other one got injured on his arm.
Kenya has been regularly targeted by the Somalia-based Shabab, East Africa's longtime Al-Qaeda branch, which is fighting to overthrow the internationally backed government in Mogadishu, protected by 22,000 African Union troops, including Kenyan soldiers. The Somali-led insurgents have staged repeated attacks in Kenya, including the killing of 67 people at Nairobi's Westgate Mall in 2013 and the massacre of 148 people at a university in Garissa in April 2015.
ANN7 Bureau Report.
At least 16 people died and 253 were injured in a 5.7 magnitude earthquake that struck northwest Tanzania. The quake resulted in homes being destroyed across the border in Uganda. Many have been left stranded. Here is the latest report.
16 lives lost, 253 were injured as a 5.7 magnitude earthquake wrecks through northwest Tanzania. Many are left stranded, desperate for aid.
I have nowhere to run to. My house was razed to the ground. I wanted to take refuge at my brother's, but his was also down. I think the hill developed some cracks because at some point rocks started rolling down, but we were afraid they would hit us.
As rescuers scrambled to find survivors from the Saturday quake, Premier Kassim Majaliwa headed to the worst-hit city, Bukoma, to attend a morning ceremony at its stadium. President John Magufuli, who is from the region, said he was deeply saddened. Victims are appealing to the government to assist in rebuilding their lives.
I'm sure the government can't reconstruct our houses, but in the meantime, it can aid us with construction materials for tents, like it did with the refugees at Sango Bay.
Most of the casualties and damage occurred in Kuboma district itself. A group of 15 boarders at a boys' secondary school was believed to be among the casualties there. The previous toll from local authorities was 14 dead and 200 injured. Bukoba suffered widespread damage with 270 houses destroyed and electricity disrupted, the Red Cross aid said in a statement. Its main hospital was stretched to nearly full capacity and had limited stocks of medicine. ANN7 Bureau Report.
Lawyers for Gabon's President Ali Bongo have made legal arguments to the Constitutional Court in response to a complaint lodged by opposition leader Jinping after contested elections last month. Ping is in a bid to have his Wathan presidential election loss overturned by the court. Bongo's party says it will put in place the court's decisions.
Gabon's opposition leaders' challenge to the presidential election result at the Constitutional Court has been welcomed by President Ali Bongo's camp. Defeated presidential candidate Jian Ping has complained of fraud, pointing out that in one province, incumbent Ali Bongo won 95% of the vote. Gabonese Democratic Party says they have a duty to show that the allegations have no basis.
Claims were made against us to contest the election of the candidate, Ali Bongo Ondimba. We have first and foremost the duty to show that these allegations have no basis, and secondly, to show that there are many things that were not clear at all, which we can blame our rivals for.
Former African Union Chair Mr. Ping lost the election by less than 6,000 votes. The European Union has said there were clear anomalies in last month's poll, charges denied by Mr. Bongo, who in turn accused Mr. Ping of fraud.
We are waiting. We are all waiting. We have our eyes on the Constitutional Court. We are waiting to see what it says. And the good Republicans that we are entirely ready to apply whatever instruction the court might give and to put in place its decisions.
Around 1,000 people marched in Gabon's capital in support of the contested re-election of President Ali Bongo. The official election result announced on 31st August gave Mr. Bongo a second 7-year term with 49.8% of the vote to Mr. Ping's 48.2%. Mr. Ping criticized results in Mr. Bongo's home province of Ho-Ogu, where turnout was 99.93% and 95% of votes were for the president.
Zambian President Edgar Lungu is inaugurated in Lusaka in a Chinese-built sports stadium in the capital, with regional dignitaries including President Robert Mugabe of neighboring Zimbabwe in attendance.
Zambian President Edgar Lungu takes on the throne in office. Lungu is being inaugurated at a Chinese-built stadium in the capital, Lusaka. The ceremony is attended by several regional dignitaries, including President Robert Mugabe of neighboring Zimbabwe. 59-year-old Lungu won the disputed August 11 elections by around 100,000 votes. His opposition, Hakainde Hichilema, has alleged that the result was riddled with fraud. On Monday, the Supreme Court rejected Hichilema's final bid to delay the ceremony. Official election results put Lungu narrowly ahead on 50.35% against 47.63% of Hichilema among a field of 9 candidates. Lungu first took office last year after beating Hichilema in a snap election and has since faced falling prices for copper, the country's key export, soaring unemployment, and inflation rising to over 20%. Zambia is known for its relative stability, but the election campaign was marked by clashes between supporters of Lungu's Patriotic Front and Hichilema's United Party for National Development. Addressing thousands of people attending his inauguration, Lungu called for a national unity and dismissed opposition claims that the ceremony was illegal and unconstitutional. Bureau Report, ANN7.
Somalia hosted regional African heads of state on Tuesday for a summit that was the first of its kind in the Somali capital since the Horn of Africa nation plunged into conflict in 1991. The summit saw Somalia agreeing to lift a week-old ban on imports of Kenyan khat after a storm of controversy from angry growers of the leafy narcotic in neighboring Kenya.
The leaders of Somalia and Kenya, who met at the sideline of the historic IGAD head of states meeting in Mogadishu, have agreed to lift a ban on khat trade. The Mira ban will be lifted as of the 14th of September.
They agreed that air transportation of Mira will be resumed and that the resumption of flights will start tomorrow, the 14th of September.
The one-day summit was the first held there since its inception in 1986. Both presidents from Somalia and Kenya also touched on the two neighboring states' work towards improving trade and economic ties.
We discussed issues including how to connect the economy of the two countries, working together on the security issues, and to work on improving the movement of both people and trade.
A summit of this nature can be held here in Mogadishu is a clear sign of the progress the government and the people of Somalia have made towards establishing peace and stability, not only here in Mogadishu, but in Somalia.
Khat is also known as Mira, a red-stemmed green-leafed plant that has a mildly amphetamine-like effect when chewed. Last week, Somalia's government suddenly banned aircrafts that were carrying khat from entering Somalia airspace. While it is enjoyed in Somalia, khat is also grown in neighboring Ethiopia and Kenya, both of which have large farming communities relying on its export for livelihoods. Bureau Report, ANN7.
The cast and crew of Nigerian film 93 Days, which tells the story of the country's response to the Ebola crisis, attains the premiere in Lagos. The movie highlights the rapid response of the Lagos state government and its collaboration with other well-meaning organizations in combating the deadly virus, which was aptly themed The Power of Collaboration. Let's take a look.
A star-studded event, Nigeria showcases its talent at the movie premiere of 93 Days. Starring American actor Danny Glover, among others, the movie is centered around the themes of triumph, heroism, and a country's determination to rise above the storm.
The temperature is very high.
This is a viral.
The 3 Days is a story about how Ebola came into Nigeria and how Nigeria was able to stem the virus from getting into the general population. What we try to do in the movie is to celebrate the heroes, both government and individuals, who ensure that all of us are here today and prevented the Ebola crisis from getting out of hand.
The movie, titled 93 Days, tells a compelling story of dedication and sacrifice in combating the Ebola virus, which broke out in Nigeria in 2014.
Virus with health officials there.
This is a story that confirms that with cooperation, with people agreeing to collaborate, with institutions agreeing to come together, there is nothing that the world cannot defeat together. There is no challenge that cannot be overcome. It's a story of people willing to sacrifice even their own lives.
The movie, which is yet to hit the back screens, has garnered support not only in Nigeria but across the globe. It has been screened twice in Lagos, the United States, and at the 2016 Toronto International Film Festival. The movie screening at the Toronto Festival was filled to capacity. Guests lined up as far as 2 streets away, with everyone eager to watch 93 Days. Bureau Report, ANN7.
Ever really understanding how connected we are.
Stay back.
But then one day.
Right now, Africa at a Glance will take a short break. We'll be back with more news and updates. Stay tuned.